Hello. It snowed a little. Guys, Lenny Reed, Dynomite Diesel.
Mitch, Dynomite Diesel.
We are very excited to finally bring you some good data for Project Blue Baller.
Yes.
Huge shout out to Logan from Logan Built. Dude came through in the nick of time before I set this thing on fire. Basically, the PCM strategy of these old trucks, as soon as he gets to like 3,200 RPM, which it was never supposed to get there, it commands third gear and it commands to unlock the converter. So we fought, we tried, we tricked, we did everything we could. Nothing worked. So Logan came through, got me a PCS controlled valve body, and Chris Buheider, Truck Source Diesel, was able to get me a wire harness built and send me a PCS, and then helped Mitch out with programming said PCS. We have a transmission that actually holds. So John Elford, Dynamic Transmission, did a great job of building the tranny, but unfortunately he can't control what's coming from the actual Chrysler PCM from 1996. So we're doing what we're doing, and we finally have something that works. It's very exciting.
So awesome. I was ready to pull my hair out working on this thing all the time, and it just wouldn't do anything we wanted it to.
We had too many projects going at once, and we didn't focus on any of the projects long enough to finish any of the projects.
That's exactly it. So we took care of that problem.
We sold some junk. So we have a 363 blowing, well, depending on how you look at it, a 476 and a 363, both Borg-Warner SXE box turbos, Steed Speed manifold, T4 foot with a 132 A over R on the big guy and a 0.88 AR on the little guy. Since it's got a 6.7 crank, it still has very good throttle response on the bottom end.
Oh, it's crazy.
If you drive it, you wouldn't know that you were driving a T4 foot on a 12 valve. It's actually pretty spunky and responsive.
Yeah, it drives awesome.
Intercooler is stock, intake elbow is stock. It's got a 12.5 millimeter pump. It's had several different sets of injectors in it.
I've had quite a few in it.
It's got one of those high performance lift pumps from, who is it from?
Cummins?
Cummins.
Yeah, the factory one.
Yeah, so it's got a stock lift pump. And the reason I call it a high performance pump is because none of you guys probably need much more than this pump has proven to give us yet today.
Yeah.
So with baby injectors in it, like our Eco injector is 44 liters per minute, we were testing stuff that was like stage 1 minus. So we went to 50 liters and we went to 52 liters of air per minute. So very, very small stuff. 12.5 mil pump, good air, good engine, power driven stage 1 head. I guess it's a pretty well put together package. With our fuel plate, so it's, you know, Kevin built the pumps, 12.5 mil pumps, got 024 delivery valves in it. With our fuel plate all the way back, it's mid 6s.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep this video pretty short and pretty sweet. This is all 50 liter minute injector that we've talked about. We just tried some 52s.
Yeah, picked up a little bit of power. Not very much.
30. 30 ain't bad.
No, it's not bad.
But still went to 1,620 degrees of EGT, 1,350 foot-pounds of torque, 760 horsepower. Smoke output was definitely more. But I think that from what I saw and from what I videoed, the smoke output really came from sliding the plate even further forward. When it was our standard plate that couldn't get scooched forward, it didn't really smoke that bad at all. Like right now, the aneroid housing is just sitting right here, and there's a rag laying on top of the fuel plate. So as we enter into the boost, the lack of aneroid housing is giving it that big black cloud that you see at first. But once we put the AFC housing back on it and we get all the spring tensions right and get it all calibrated, it's not gonna have that. I've really gotta think to myself, like, in a daily driven 12 valve, what is my goal? I don't know if I wanna go that far with this truck. Like I'm probably gonna be really happy at 700 horsepower and at 18 degrees timing.
Yeah, super snappy. It's not loud at all.
It's not loud. You push remote start and it cold starts outside, no problem. So I want to drive this thing for at least a week or two and just see if I hate anything or love anything about it. And if there's compromises that I'm willing to make to gain something else, I'll know more in a week or so. But first, I just want to drive it for a little bit and kind of get to feeling it before we really monkey with it too much more. But yeah, turbos seem really happy. Motor seems really happy.
Yeah, everything's happy. It's Really good. It's finally coming together.
Yeah,
Taking a while.
it's definitely taking a hot minute. But as for now, I think that's all we got, and I'm pretty stoked about driving my old truck again. I'm really excited to get this thing on the street and take it for a trip.
Yeah, get it out of the corner from being all dusty. Now we get to drive it again.
We'll be out of here. So thanks, guys. See ya.
See ya.
What a day.
Good day.
Super success.
Very good day. I am happy. I was so sick and tired of working on this pickup.
I was sick and tired of working on the Jeep, this pickup, the little maroon truck. It's a fact. Like my buddy Bruce tells me one day, he goes, you're coachable, but you're really not that bright. And basically I try to take on way too much and I get none of it done correctly. So we eliminated some stuff. We sold the little maroon truck, which I'm really happy. That turned out perfect.
That was an awesome truck. I loved it.
We had 9 sets of injectors.
Yeah.
We timed 18, 20, 22, and 25 degrees. And everybody on the planet says more timing's more power.
30 degrees and bust.
But when we got to 25, we were already showing that it was a negative power loss.
Yep, we were losing power already.
So don't believe everything on the internet, because unless you have one of these things, the dyno thingy, you should not trust everybody on the internet, because it's going to be hard on head gaskets and all the other things, because it's undue cylinder pressure just by adding timing. And you will get to a point where you're injecting fuel so early before the piston gets to top dead center, parasitic drag kicks in and the motor won't make any more power because you don't have enough fuel and air to support that. So I am going to drive this thing, and I had Morgan run to town. She picked up a set of our just DDP Eco injectors today. With Ecos, I wasn't here, you made the hit.
Yeah.
You lost some power.
Yeah, a whole whopping 33 horsepower. It still made 727 and 1,300 foot-pounds of torque on smaller than factory injector.
This thing's got me beyond the moon, because I can actually drive my truck and enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute. So 700 horsepower, that's all. I mean, at the end of the day, a second gen truck's not very heavy.
Yeah.
A 700 horsepower second gen is a very different 700 horsepower than a second gen or a fourth gen, right? This thing's 2,500 pounds lighter all day, every day. So I'm super excited to be driving this thing, and the power curve, 1,300 foot-pounds of torque with little tiny injectors. This thing's going to be very clean, very responsive.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping that they don't oil the heck out of the roads, because my truck's only got 33,000 miles on it and I want to drive it. We've got snow coming in the forecast, probably tonight. We had a little bit last night.
Yep, a little bit.
What a deal. This pump, the one thing I don't love about this pump quite right is you might think it's cool sounding, but it has a little bit of governor bounce, so it'll kind of just on its, if you're driving it and you get out of the gas pedal, it'll kind of come down, go, It doesn't have to do that. I'm not going to have it that way. Like air conditioning, power steering, and all that stuff, none of it likes that. The start ability also doesn't like that. I want to be able to push the button when it's -5 degrees outside. I want to walk outside and have my truck be warm. So I'm going to get that fixed. It'll just be a little bit more spring pressure on the governor springs.
Yep.
And if that does anything funky, then I'll have to add a bit more shim underneath the idle spring. But I want to fix that. I want to get the AFC housing back on it. I want to put the BFGs on it that are siped back on it for the winter time and go drive this thing. That's my plan. Put the canopy back on it so I can haul the dog that just walked in.
Put it in grandpa mode.
I don't really want her in the cab of my 30,000 mile truck. The interior of these trucks just sucks up every dog hair and holds onto it till eternity. There's only two things that are going to last forever, and that's the Egyptian pyramids and dog hair in second-gen Dodge seats. You can't get it out. So I'll put the canopy back on it and make it look super grandpa and drive the ever-loving happiness into this truck.
Oh yeah, it's ready for it now.
I'm jazzed. So, all right, guys, later. Lenny Reed, Dynomite Diesel. I'm out.
See ya.